In this video, I'm going to show you how to look at a variable, or as many variables as you want, to figure out whether the data is normally distributed. We've talked a little bit in class about normal distributions, and a lot of statistical analyses are based on this assumption of a normal distribution. Now, in reality, is data always going to be in a nice, clean, normal distribution? No. Sometimes it is going to be very skewed, and the smaller the sample size, the less likely you are to have a good normal distribution. But nor do we have to have an absolutely perfect normal distribution in order to carry out some of the analysis that rely on that assumption. It's something you just learn over time, but it does often make sense as part of trying to understand your data to look for how normally distributed or not normally distributed a variable is. So to do so, you do this with continuous variables. You don't do it with categorical variables. Even if it is a categorical variable that is spanning over, maybe 5 or 6 possible options, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If those things are still not actually measuring something that's truly continuous, if those are just different categories, even if they're incrementally larger than each other, it's still not really appropriate to test for normal distributions. We're looking for continuous variables, age, a dollar level of income, things like that. So we're going to go to our Analyze menu. We're going to go to Descriptive Statistics, and we're going to choose Explore. And in this case, I'm going to use the variable age because I know it's continuous. And then I need to tell it I need some plots. And what plots do I need? I need a histogram, make sure that one's checked, and I need a normality plot with tests. And there's a statistical test that will tell us whether or not a variable is close enough to a normal curve or not. I just say continue. It's going to display both the statistics and the plots, so I just say OK. So here we go. We've got some basic descriptive statistics. Ignore this test of normality. The Tomogorov-Smirnov, it is no good. Nobody uses it anymore. I don't know why it's here. It's the Shapiro-Wilk we want to do. And all you're looking for is this thing right here. And even if you don't understand what this means, what this is saying is, does this curve, the curve that this data creates differ significantly from a normal distribution? So if this number is smaller than 0.05, then yes, it does differ significantly from a normal distribution. It means it is not a normal curve. So age is not distributed normally in our data set. Next, we can just eyeball this in a histogram. That was why we asked for the histogram, so that we could see, does this make a normal curve, which, like that with our outliers and our bell shape? Roughly, it actually is close enough to normal that I would be all right with proceeding with it, but it is not a truly normal curve, and that's because this particular data collection, it really wants adults, it doesn't want children, and it skews towards adults. It tries to get, I guess skew is kind of the wrong word, although as a whole this is skewed to these younger age groups because it just starts right there. But what they're trying to do is to get a representative distribution of people across these adulthood ages. So as a result, these are all fairly similar to each other as opposed to a bell curve shape. The stem and leaf plot shows us the same thing. I'm not going to describe what a QQ plot is, but what you're looking for is for observations, which are the circles, to be as close as possible to this straight line. It's actually not too bad, and then we can skip the rest of those. So I would say this is not a normal, the age does not fit a normal curve, but nor do I think it is so far off that I couldn't use statistical analyses that expect a normal curve or normal distribution on age. Now there's another way that we can actually produce a quick graph that shows us not only this histogram, but goes ahead and draws the normal curve on there. And that's by coming up here to graphs. So graph, chart builder. You can just ignore that. Okay. Ugh, I need to reset. Okay. So what I'm interested in is here in the gallery, histogram. So you choose, the gallery is just what are the kinds of charts you can do. I want a histogram, and then I pick which kind of histogram I want. I want the one with bars, so I drag it into there. And then it says, well, what's the variable down here going to be? It's going to be age. So I need to scroll on down until I get to age of respondent, and then I drag it into there. And come over here and say display your normal curve. Okay. Didn't display my normal curve. Wonder why not. Didn't when I practiced this. All right, graphs, chart builder. Okay. Oh, I think I just didn't quite check it. There we go. Apply. And now, okay. There we go. I just had to click apply. So this is what the normal curve would be for this data. And this is what our data actually does. So you can see that we do not have outliers in the very young ages or the very old ages. And as a result of this sort of thicker area here through the 20 to 60, nor do we have our peak up there. So that is how you can use SPSS to check for a normal distribution in one of your variables.